A brief synopsis of what happened at the explosion and stuff, and then he's going to read off the list of the names of the people who have passed away. Okay. So, thank you very much.
We'd like to thank Rob Kentos, our new president. I didn't get to introduce. He's our new president for working on this and doing all these displays. And he's your grandfather?
My grandfather, my great-grandfather, and my great-uncle, and a couple cousins are in these photos. If you wanted to see who they are, I'll point them out to you after.
So his family worked at the plant after the explosion.
No, before the explosion.
Before?
Yeah, before the explosion.
Okay. So what happened 100 years ago yesterday, March 1st, 1924, there was an explosion at the Nixon Nitration plant here, and it destroyed the plant. And it killed 17 or 18 people and destroyed the little neighborhood here of Nixon. Nixon Nitration wasn't the source of the explosion. It was a company that was salvaging ammunition from the Raritan arsenal. They were taking the components of the shells and turning it into fertilizer. That plant blew up, the ammonite plant blew up, and it destroyed the Nixon plant, which they made nitrocellulose. So the plant blows up, and imagine being here in 1924. Nixon Lane is a dirt road. Mill Road is a dirt road. Woodbridge Avenue is a dirt road. There's no paved roads. There's a trolley line on Woodbridge Avenue from Metuchen to New Brunswick. The plant blows up, and anybody coming here to rescue has to drive on dirt roads, which then turn into mud with all the traffic. The Raritan Arsenal sent troops over to rescue people, and they were taken to the base hospital, which is on the college campus, and then into New Brunswick, and into Perth Amboy. So by the end of the day, the article says there's hundreds dead, but there was only 18 bodies. I did research on newspapers.com and ancestry.com and matched the names that were in the newspapers, and the ones that we could identify, we have a list of. One of the sad things was the Dumas family who lived in a house on Nixon Lane here. The house was destroyed, and the mother and 3 of the children were killed. Another interesting thing, this was Saturday, March 1st, and the workers were online to get paid at Nixon Nitration. So there were more workers here that day than there were on March 1st. So those who died are Marjorie C. Dumas, Alice Dumas, John Dumas, Edward Smith, Edward Starkin, Lester Spencer, Thomas Fitzgerald, Hugo Hagan, Harold Slade, Roberta Wary, John Mazzaros, Joseph Adams, Ruth Rockefeller, Richard Crofton, Arthur Cole, and George Perrine. Those were the ones who passed away in this war. The plant was eventually rebuilt, and this is a 1970s view of the plant. They made nitrocellulose there and plastics. The plant eventually was demolished, and there's a big warehouse there now. Any questions? Okay, so enjoy the rest of the day here. There's a food truck outside. Get your can of beer or any other beer here at Cypress. We'd like to thank Charles. Where's Charles? Wherever he is. Let's give a big hand to Charles.
Yay!
Go ahead.
Was this plant in any way related to the World War II effort?
Yes. It was very active during World War II. Yes.
Wasn't here in World War I?
It was here during World War I. The plant was actually built in 1913 by another company. They had an explosion in 1913 and then closed down, and Nixon bought the plant in 1915 to make nitrocellulose.
Yes, they had it.
They had it in 1913. The previous owner. If you looking through the newspapers, this was not a safe place to work. You know, you read injuries and other industrial accidents that cause people to die. So it's not. We're more safety conscious now than we were during the operation of plants back then.
And the big explosion in Sherwood,
Yeah, those of you who don't know, in 1918, at the end of World War I, there was a big plant in Sayreville, the Morgan's plant, or the Gillespie plant, and that blew up. And it was the largest, they say it's the largest detonation before the atomic bomb. And it just wiped out a whole big area of Old Bridge and Sayreville. You know where, I guess it's Old Bridge High School on Route 9 and I guess it's 514. The plant went from there to Morgan on the coast. That's how big it was. And it just blew up for days. So, you know, we had in this area, we had a lot of munitions industries in World War I, and World War II, and post-war. There was an explosion at the arsenal next door. There were at least 2 explosions there. There was the South Amway explosion in the 1950s when a barge of landmines detonated. The Morgan explosion. I think in Sayreville, there might have been a couple of powder mills out this morning. So it was a big industry here in the early 20th century.
One of the articles lists some of the dead with where they live. And one man was listed as living in the Linden Alley.
Yeah.
Is that Linden's first name?
No, Linden Alley is about 3 miles west of here, Edison. It's between Piscataway Town and Highland Park. Player Avenue. This is like the north-south street in Linden. And we did that. Irene and I did research. How did they come up with that name?
Yeah.
There's no clear.
We have thoughts, but we're not sure.
Yeah, there's no clear definition of why they named it. There's no linden trees. And I think there's a trailer park in Colorado that is called. That's the only references you can find.
All right, great.
And there's Charles. Hey, Charles.
Thank you, Charles. Yay!
County History Day at the Plainfield Library. We'll participate in that. And I think it's May 18th is Middlesex County History Day over at Old Town in Piscataway. And they'll have a lot of historic things to do there. We'll have a table there, but also all local historical societies, like Sayreville. Sayreville will have one. They asked about the Morgan explosion. And then on June 23rd, we're scheduled to do Piscataway Town History Day at Squad 1 on Lakeview Boulevard. We're going to do, we'll have stuff like this on display. We're going to do a tour of the Piscataway Town Burial Ground. St. James will have the church open and have a tour of the church. And we'll do a walking tour of the cemetery and then a separate walking tour of the Piscataway Town neighborhood. Hopefully the weather will be good, so that'll be on the 23rd of June. And then in the fall, for members only, we're going to have a tour of the Presbyterian Cemetery in Metuchen. We'll have some fall events after that.
Also the one at our house.
Oh yes, and members only tour of the Ayers Allen House around Halloween. So it's our 50th anniversary. If you remember, you should get one of these. But if you remember, don't have one of these, let me know. I'll give you one. And we look forward to continuing for another 50 years. So thank you all for coming out.
Yay! So here we are looking at some of the displays that were put together for the commemoration of the 100th anniversary of the Nixon Nitration explosion. thousands of people. Very interesting news articles. It's okay. We have people fleeing from the video. 18 known dead in Nixon's.